Have you ever woken up after what should have been a full night of sleep, but your body feels like it just ran across the entire United States? If you are not in your head, you are definitely not alone. I've heard so many patients say to me, "Dr. Harper, what am I doing wrong? Why am I tired all the time?" More than 30 years of working with older adults has shown me one thing. Deep, constant fatigue is almost never something that hits you all at once. It comes from tiny things that slowly and quietly wear you down day after day. And I know exactly how familiar this can feel. You open your eyes in the morning and your whole body already feels heavy. By lunchtime, your mind is foggy and it is hard to focus. At 2 in the afternoon, it feels like somebody flipped your power switch off and you just want to lie down. At night, you toss and turn, you do not sleep deeply, and then you repeat the exact same thing the next day. Many people think that is just aging. They say, "This is normal for my age, doctor." But the truth is this. Most of the reasons people over 60 feel exhausted have nothing to do with their age. No one has ever pointed them out for you. Today, I want to walk you through some of the most surprising reasons older adults in the United States feel worn out all the time, and more importantly, how to get your energy back without having to change your entire life. Some of the things I'm about to say might make you laugh. Other things might make you think, "Oh my goodness, so that is what's been going on." But every single one of them matters. By the end of this video, you will understand your body better than ever before. So sit comfortably, take a deep breath, and let me help you find the energy you thought you had lost. Let us begin. 1. You sit too much and call it rest. This is something I see in so many of my patients, and you might be going through the same thing. You barely do anything. You do not run around, you do not carry heavy things, yet by the end of the day, your body feels like you have just worked a 12-hour shift. One of my patients, Linda, who is 68 years old and has been retired for a few years, told me during a routine checkup, "Dr. Harper, I do nothing all day. I just sit and watch the news, watch the birds outside the window, then watch a few shows on television. But by 5 in the afternoon, I completely shut down. What am I doing wrong?" The answer is much simpler than you might think. Sitting still is not the same thing as resting. Especially after 60, sitting for long stretches is one of the fastest ways to drain your energy. When you stay still for a long time, your circulation starts to slow down. Your blood does not move as well. Your muscles fall asleep. Your joints feel like they are locked in place. Your body reads this signal and says, "Oh, we do not need much energy anymore. All right, I will switch us into power-saving mode." And then you feel tired. Not because you did too much, but because you did not move enough. Here's the loop that traps so many people. You feel tired, so you sit more. Your circulation gets worse. Your body gets lazier. You feel even more tired, so you sit even more. I call this the silent spiral. It looks harmless, but it steals your strength day after day. The good news is, you do not need to go to the gym, you do not need to jog, and you definitely do not need to be dripping with sweat to get your energy back. The bodies of older adults respond extremely well to gentle movement, as long as it is repeated consistently. I remember a cheerful gentleman named Mark. He told me, "Do you know how I exercise, doctor? Every time the television goes to a commercial, I stand up. For 3 minutes, I stretch my legs, roll my shoulders, and march in place. If the commercial break is long, I even wiggle my hips for fun." Then he laughed and said, "Honestly, doctor, it gives me more energy than Starbucks." The important thing is not intensity. The important thing is the signal. You are telling your whole body, "I still need you. Do not shut down." Here are very small movements that can completely change your day. Walk around the house every hour. Stand up whenever you answer the phone. Stretch your arms and legs while you're cooking. Roll your shoulders and your neck while you wait for water to boil. Go get the mail yourself instead of waiting for someone else to bring it in. Sit down and stand up from your chair 5 to 10 times in a row, which is wonderful for your joints and your heart. That's all it takes for your blood to start moving again, for your brain to wake up, and for your body to feel like it has been turned back on. So if one day you sigh and say, "I barely do anything all day, why am I still so tired?" The answer is actually very gentle, because your body is waiting for a small signal to wake up. Just a little bit of movement, and you will feel yourself coming back to life from the inside out. You are dehydrated, even if you think you drink enough. This might surprise you, but in my entire career, there is almost no cause of long-lasting fatigue in older adults more common than mild, hidden dehydration. Frank, a 72-year-old patient of mine, is usually very cheerful, but he was always dragging. He told me, "Doctor, I drink water all the time. This morning I drank a full glass with my pills." I looked at the clock. It was 3 in the afternoon. I asked him, "Have you had anything else to drink since then?" He thought for a moment and said, "Well, I did have a bowl of soup." And that is exactly what happens to so many people. When you are younger, your body screams for water when you are low. Your lips get dry, your mouth feels like a desert, your throat burns. After 60, those signals are not so clear. Instead of shouting, "Drink some water," your body sends a blurry message. You feel tired, groggy, heavy-headed, unfocused, sleepy, and sometimes you even look like your memory is slipping. Here is the important part. By the time you actually feel thirsty, your body has already been low on water for several hours. Mild dehydration makes your blood thicker, your heart has to work harder, and your brain becomes lazy. It sends strange signals such as slowing down, irritability, lightheadedness, or that feeling like your eyelids could drop shut at any moment. I once heard a story from a medical forum about an older woman who kept nodding off all day. Her children were so worried they thought she had early Alzheimer's disease. After running her blood tests, the answer was much simpler. She had been mildly dehydrated for years. Once they reminded her to drink a few sips every hour, it was like someone flipped her power switch back on. Here is the interesting twist. Many older adults purposely drink less water because they are afraid they will need to run to the bathroom all day. I understand that more than anyone. No one wants to leave the house and immediately have to hunt for a restroom. But staying hydrated does not mean chugging a huge bottle all at once. It means sipping small amounts regularly throughout the day so your body stays in balance. Keep a glass of water where you can see it easily, such as next to your favorite chair, on the kitchen counter, or right by your bed. Add a few slices of lemon, some mint leaves, or a splash of fruit juice if you want it to taste a little more enjoyable. You can even call it your own spa water, as long as you drink it. Trust me, a change this small can help you feel more alert, less sleepy, with fewer headaches, and even a better mood. If you are always tired, start with the simplest step. Take small sips of water regularly throughout the day. Your body will thank you within the first week. 3. You are carrying quiet worries that are heavier than you think. There is something many older adults almost never admit, not even to their doctor. They are stressed, but in a very quiet way. I have had so many patients tell me with full confidence, "No, doctor, I am fine. I am retired. My children are doing well. I have nothing to worry about." But if you look into their eyes, or if you sit with them just a little longer, you notice something else. Many people are living with a gentle, ongoing anxiety, like a nameless shadow that follows them around. It is not the kind of anxiety that makes your heart race or sends you into a panic attack. It is the kind of worry that only someone older and experienced really understands. Worry about your health. Worry about your memory. Worry about being lonely at night. Worry about bills you are not sure will go up. Worry about becoming a burden to someone someday. These worries are not loud, but that is exactly why they are so exhausting. Your body does not separate big stress from small stress. Even low-level stress raises your cortisol levels, makes your sleep more shallow, tightens your muscles, lowers your mood, and slowly drains your energy. I remember a patient named Margaret. She told me, "Doctor, I am not sad. I am not stressed. I am just tired all the time." While we were talking, I asked her one simple question. "What worries you the most this year?" She went quiet. After a few seconds, she started listing all the things she had been hiding. Friends who had passed away, her memory not being as sharp, her fear that her house felt too quiet. Quiet stress is like wearing an invisible backpack filled with rocks. No one else can see it, but you feel its weight with every step. The good news is, you do not have to erase that backpack. You just need to put it down for a few minutes each day. Another patient of mine, Ruth, had a very interesting habit. Every night, she sat at her table and wrote down everything that was worrying her. Then she folded the paper, put it into an old wooden box, and said, "These are tomorrow's problems. Tonight I am off duty." She called that box her worry vault, and she told me she slept better from that day on. You can choose any method that works for you. Write in a journal. Talk to someone you trust. Practice slow breathing for 5 minutes. Sit outside and let your mind settle down. Or simply admit to yourself, "I am a little worried right now." Even that small act helps your body feel less burdened. Because quiet stress does not leave just because you ignore it. It leaves when you are willing to look at it clearly. And when the weight finally lightens, you will be surprised by one thing. Your energy comes back faster than you expect. 4. The light and easy foods you rely on are secretly draining you. I need to be very honest here, and this might surprise you a little. A huge part of fatigue in older adults comes from the very foods they believe are the safest. I see this every single week in my clinic. One of my patients, Jeffrey, who is 74 years old, told me, "Doctor, I eat a very healthy breakfast every morning. Just 2 slices of white bread, a little strawberry jam, and 1 banana. But by 10 in the morning, I am already falling asleep in my chair." Sound familiar? Soft foods that are easy to chew, easy to digest, and not greasy sound perfect. But the truth is, most of these are fast carbohydrates and sugar. They make your blood sugar spike up quickly and then crash just as fast. When your blood sugar drops, you already know what happens. Your eyelids feel heavy. Your mind gets foggy. You feel like you have just walked for miles. Some people even think they are anemic or seriously weak. But no, often your body is just reacting to a sudden energy crash after a meal. There is another sneaky troublemaker: low-fat foods. Back in the 1990s, the entire United States was convinced that fat was the enemy. As a result, even today, many people still believe that low-fat cookies, rice cakes, breakfast cereals, and healthy muffins are smart choices. I need to say this very clearly. Your brain and your hormones need healthy fats in order to keep your energy steady. When you do not have enough healthy fats, you get hungry faster. Your energy drops faster. Your mood sours faster. And you start looking for the nearest armchair. Here's what I see again and again with hundreds of patients. Older adults are not really eating wrong. They're eating not enough of the right things. Not enough protein, not enough fiber, not enough healthy fats, not enough of the things that keep blood sugar steady for many hours. Those light, easy foods only keep you full for about 30 minutes, and then they let you fall. So where do you start? You do not have to overhaul your whole diet. Just add small things that have big power. 1 egg, a handful of almonds or walnuts, a little natural peanut butter, a slice of whole grain bread instead of white bread, a drizzle of olive oil on your lunch. Changes this tiny can pull you out of tired all day and into wide awake without adding coffee. Remember this, food is energy, but short-lived, disappearing energy comes from foods that are too soft, too sweet, and too low in real nutrients. Steady, long-lasting, comfortable energy comes from protein, healthy fats, and fiber. Your body does not need a lot, it just needs the right kind. 5. You sleep many hours, but you are missing deep sleep. There is something that confuses many older adults, and I hear this almost every week in my office. Dr. Harper, I sleep 8 hours, sometimes 9. I go to bed on time, I wake up on time, so why do I still feel like someone kept waking me up all night? The answer is simple, but it is not always easy to accept. You are sleeping, but you are not really resting. Sleep has a quantity, but what you are missing is quality. Many people lie in bed all night but are actually in a half-awake state, like when you watch television but can barely remember what you just watched. You wake up several times without realizing it. You toss and turn. You hear a tiny noise and your brain snaps back to alert. All of this keeps you from dropping into deep sleep, which is where your body truly recovers. Your cells are repaired. Your brain cleans up toxins. Your memories are strengthened. Your hormones are balanced. Your energy is restored. You can spend 8 hours in bed, but if you miss deep sleep, you will wake up with energy levels like a phone that charged all night but only reached 15%. The things that cause shallow sleep are often very quiet. One of my patients, Alice, who is 70 years old, told me, "I do not like sleeping in silence, so I keep the television on low. It helps me fall asleep." But there was a big problem. The blue light from the screen, even if it is dim, keeps telling the brain, "Hey, we are still active. Do not go too deep." The result was that she slept all night, but not once did she enter deep sleep. Another gentleman could not understand why he always woke up in the middle of the night. When we checked, his blood sugar was swinging too wildly because his dinner was mostly fast carbohydrates. His body became overstimulated, his brain woke up, and his deep sleep disappeared. Many others are woken up by quiet worries, chronic pain in their back or knees, medications that disturb sleep, or something as simple as having to use the bathroom 3 or 4 times a night. So how do you sleep more deeply? You do not need an expensive bed, and you do not need 3 new pills. Most of the time, you only need a few small adjustments in the right places. Turn the television off completely and use gentle background sounds like white noise or rain sounds instead. Increase your magnesium if your doctor approves, because this mineral helps your muscles relax and can support deeper sleep. Keep your bedroom darker and a little cooler. Avoid eating a lot of fast carbohydrates at dinner so your blood sugar doesn't crash in the night. Write down 3 things that are worrying you before bed, so your brain doesn't have to hold them while you lie there. Go outside in the morning, so your body can reset its internal clock. I will talk more about this in part 6. One of my patients started crying when she told me, "Doctor, for the first time in years, I dreamed again. I thought I had lost my dreams." That is the power of deep sleep. It is not flashy, it is not glamorous, but it is the one thing that can truly awaken your real energy from the inside. If you have ever woken up feeling more tired than when you went to bed, it's not because you have become weak. It's because your sleep has become lighter and less restorative. The good news is this: when you change the right things, you can get your deep sleep back. And once you do, everything else in your life begins to shift. 6. You do not spend enough time outside, and it quietly disrupts your energy. I say this with the confidence of a doctor who has followed thousands of older patients for many years. Not spending enough time outdoors is one of the most overlooked reasons people over 60 feel tired all the time. You might be surprised to hear that just 10 to 15 minutes in natural light each day can completely change how you sleep, how you think, and how much energy you have. The human body was designed to live with sunlight, not only with indoor lamps. Our brains rely on natural light to reset our internal clock every single day. When you spend most of your time indoors, as many older adults do, your brain starts to get confused. When should I be awake and alert? When should I release melatonin to feel sleepy? When should I turn the energy dial up? The result is that all day you feel sluggish, sleepy, foggy, unfocused, and at night you still do not sleep deeply. Tired during the day plus restless at night creates a scary loop that many people are stuck in. I remember a patient named Harold who was 81 years old. He told me, "Doctor, I just sit inside. I do not really have any reason to go out." We agreed on one small change. Every morning he would sit on his porch for 12 minutes. No exercise, no walking. Just sitting and letting natural light reach his eyes. 1 week later, he came back and said, "I don't know what is happening, but every morning I feel awake earlier. It is as if my whole body has brightened up." That is real science. Morning light helps your body reset its internal clock, raise natural serotonin levels, improve your mood, ease that heavy feeling in your head, and guide you into deeper sleep at night. There is one more important piece: vitamin D. More than 70% of older adults in the United States are low in vitamin D. This vitamin directly affects energy, muscle strength, immune function, sleep, and even memory. It is not because they eat wrong, but because they simply do not go outside as often as they used to. Beyond biology, being outdoors also heals the spirit. I have seen this so often that I cannot deny it. Just sitting in the yard, listening to birds, feeling a soft breeze on your face, watching the light change through the trees, can gently soften stresses you didn't even know you were carrying. It's like your body whispers, "I am still part of this world." You do not need to hike. You do not need to garden for an hour. Here are a few simple ideas. Take your morning coffee or tea outside for 10 to 15 minutes. Open the door and sit where sunlight can reach you for 5 to 10 minutes. Sit on the porch while you listen to the radio. Choose a seat by the window when it's bright outside. Walk your pet for a short loop around the block. Just that, and your internal clock will know what to do. Remember this: if you're always tired, sluggish, or feel like you never get into gear, your body might simply need to be touched by natural light once a day. And the best part? You can start tomorrow. No cost, no special skills, no equipment. You just need to step outside. 7. Your body is missing key nutrients and you have no idea. I want to share something with you that many older adults never even consider. You can be low in important nutrients even if you eat regular meals every day. That is not your fault. As we get older, our bodies absorb nutrients less efficiently. You can eat the same meal that gave you plenty of nutrition at 40, but at 70, your body might only take in half of it. This leads to what I call silent deficiencies. The levels are not low enough to cause a dramatic illness right away, but they are low enough to leave you tired, foggy, weak, and unfocused all day long. A story from one of my patients explains this better than any textbook. Daniel, who is 76 years old, came to see me with a very familiar complaint. "Doctor, I feel like I am walking through mud. Every step feels heavy. I feel like I am aging too fast." I asked him about his sleep. It was fine. His diet? Reasonable. His medications? Nothing unusual. But when I looked at his blood work, the problem was clear. Low vitamin B12, low vitamin D, iron a little on the low side, magnesium below the optimal range. He looked at me, surprised, and said, "How can I be low in all that? I eat well." That is exactly what everybody thinks. But here is what often happens to bodies over 60. Vitamin B12 absorption drops with age, which leads to fatigue, forgetfulness, muscle weakness, and dizziness. Vitamin D falls because of less sun exposure, which brings down energy, muscle strength, sleep quality, and mood. Low iron means less oxygen delivery, which creates that feeling of short of breath, easily tired. Low magnesium is linked to poor sleep, muscle cramps, irregular heartbeats, and difficulty relaxing. These deficiencies do not cause pain. They do not cause fever. They usually don't send you to the hospital, but they quietly suck away your energy every single day. Here is the biggest problem. Symptoms like fatigue, slow thinking, daytime sleepiness, vague aches, trouble concentrating are often blamed entirely on old age. In reality, your body is whispering, "I'm missing the raw materials I need to function." I call this running an engine when the gas tank is almost empty. The good news is this is usually easy to fix. You do not need a drawer full of supplements. You just need regular blood tests that check vitamin B12, vitamin D, iron, and magnesium. Supplements if your doctor recommends them, and a few adjustments in your diet. Many people do not realize how exhausted they were until they are not exhausted anymore. The difference between silent deficiency and well-nourished is so big that some patients tell me they feel as if they became several years younger. So if you're tired all the time, even though you eat normally, look at your nutrient levels before you blame your age. Your body might not be too old. It might simply be waiting for the right fuel. 8. You have lost your inner spark, and it is more exhausting than any physical problem. I want to tell you this with all the sincerity of a doctor who has walked alongside older adults for 3 decades. Energy does not come only from sleep, food, or medicine. It comes from the feeling that you are truly living. Many people over 60 are not tired because their bodies are too weak. They are tired because inside there is nothing that excites them, nothing they are looking forward to, nothing that gives them a reason to get out of bed in the morning. I have seen this pattern in far too many patients. Once during an appointment, I asked Elaine, who is 72 years old, "What is the thing in your day that makes you happiest right now?" She looked down at her hands, stayed quiet for a long time, and said, "Honestly, nothing, doctor. Everything just passes by. I'm not really sad, not really happy, just empty. I hear that answer more often than you would think, and it worries me more than any blood pressure reading, because that emptiness is one of the fastest drains on your energy, faster than lack of sleep, faster than poor nutrition, faster than most medications. What do we call this? It is not exactly depression. It is not exactly loneliness. It is not really a disease. I call it soul fatigue, when your heart is still beating, but it is not reaching toward anything. When you have nothing to look forward to, your brain turns on its own energy-saving mode, like a machine that no longer has a reason to run at full power. Here is what matters most. That inner flame never goes out completely. It just needs to be lit again. One of my patients, Raymond, who is 75 years old, told me, "I thought my good days were over, doctor. Then I started growing a few tomato plants behind my house, and I do not know why, but suddenly I wanted to get up every morning just to see how much they had grown." It sounds almost silly, but it is beautiful. Just a few tomato plants pulled him from constant tiredness into a version of himself that was more alive, more talkative, sleeping better, and eating better. Another woman rediscovered herself when she started taking piano lessons again after 40 years. Another man found joy when he adopted an older dog. Another lady joined a dance class for people over 60 and told me, "I thought my feelings were dead. Turns out they are still very much alive." Remember this. The flame does not have to be big. It just has to be there. You do not need to find a grand life purpose. You just need one small thing, one activity, one hobby, one routine that makes your heart move even a little. A weekly coffee date, a book you truly enjoy, a pet to talk to every morning, a hobby you abandoned years ago, a small corner of the garden to care for, a group of people where you feel you belong. Emotional energy is the strongest fuel for older age. When your spirit is nourished, your body follows. When you feel alive, truly alive, you will be amazed to see. Your walk becomes steadier, your breathing goes deeper, your mind becomes clearer, your sleep becomes deeper, and your smile shows up more easily. So if you feel tired all the time, but there is no obvious illness, what you are missing might not be a vitamin or a pill. It might be a small beam of light for your heart to follow. And believe me, you deserve that. 9. You are taking too many medications or the wrong combination, and they are secretly exhausting you. In 30 years of geriatric practice, I have seen one thing over and over again. As people get older, their medication lists get longer. And the longer that list becomes, the higher the risk of long-lasting fatigue. I am not telling you this to scare you. I am telling you because even the safest medications can make you tired, dizzy, and foggy, especially when they bump into each other in ways you would never expect. Take Samuel, for example, who is 78 years old. He came to see me looking like he was walking through a cloud. He said, "Doctor, I cannot tell if I am sleepy because of my age or because of my pills." When I looked at his list, I saw he was taking blood pressure medication, a sleeping pill, cholesterol medication, pain medication for his joints, a supplement a friend had recommended. Each one made sense on its own, but together they created a small storm inside his body. One drug made him sleepy. Another one made him more alert. One lowered his blood pressure when he stood up. Another caused his sodium to drop. Yet another reduced his absorption of vitamin B12. The result? constant tiredness, poor focus, and the feeling that I am not myself anymore. The interesting part is what happened next. I sent him to a clinical pharmacist to review his entire medication list. We discovered 2 drugs that were canceling each other out and one that he no longer needed. After his medications were adjusted, he came back and said something that made me smile. "Doctor, are you telling me I have been this tired for years just because of my pills?" In his case, the answer was yes. Why does this happen so often in older adults? Because after 60, liver and kidney function decline, so medications stay in the body longer. Metabolism slows, so side effects become stronger. The body is more sensitive to changes in dose. One drug can change the effect of another. Some drugs cause drowsiness, while others cause stimulation. Some medications lower vitamin B12 and magnesium, which makes fatigue worse. Here are some signs that your medications might be draining you without you noticing. Mental fog and difficulty concentrating. Sleepiness all day. Feeling lightheaded when you stand up. Strange tiredness even when you sleep well. Slow or irregular heartbeat. Mild memory problems. These are easy to blame on getting old, but often they are long-term side effects of medications. So what is the best solution? It is not to stop all your medicines. It is not to switch to only natural products. The solution is to do a full review of every single prescription, over-the-counter drug, and supplement you are taking. From my experience, the best person to lead that review is often not the doctor, but a clinical pharmacist, someone who has devoted their entire career to understanding how drugs interact. They can help you remove medications that do the same thing, adjust your doses, spot dangerous interactions, suggest gentler alternatives, and most importantly, give you back the level of energy you should have. I have watched hundreds of patients wake up, feel lighter, and step out of the fog after just a small change in their medication plan. If you feel tired for no reason, the cause may not be your age, your illness, or your lifestyle. It may be one pill or one combination of pills overloading your system. The good news? This is absolutely fixable. And sometimes, when you adjust the right thing, you feel like someone has flipped your power switch back on. 10. What you are really missing might be joy. I want you to hear this with a very open mind. Joy is not a luxury reserved for young people. It is a part of health. When joy disappears, you can feel that loss in every cell of your body. Over many years of geriatric practice, I have seen a strange but very common pattern. Many older adults are not seriously ill, they are not extremely malnourished, and their sleep is not terrible. Yet they are tired, dull, and lacking life in a way that is hard to explain. When I sit with them longer and listen more carefully, I notice one common theme. Their lives are missing joy, those little moments that make the heart light up. I remember a patient named Carol who was 69 years old. When I asked her, "What has made you feel happy recently?" she stared off into the distance and said, "I'm not sure anymore, doctor. Life just passes. I wake up, eat, watch television, do a few chores, then go to bed. There is nothing that makes me look forward to the next day." I say this with complete respect. That is exactly how energy leaks away day after day without you seeing it. Your body does not live on food and sleep alone. It lives on connection, love, anticipation, and meaning. Without joy, your nervous system slips into conserve energy mode. Your steps feel heavier, your breathing becomes shallow, your thoughts feel dull. Your smile fades, and a thin mist of fatigue spreads over everything. It is not disease. It is not just old age. It is a spirit that has grown cold. Here is the most important thing I want you to understand. Joy does not have to be big. It does not have to be a long trip, an expensive purchase, or a major life change. It can be so small that you almost dismiss it. But these small things are exactly what rescue the energy of older age. I have watched inner flames reignite from the tiniest sparks. An 83-year-old man adopted an old dog, and suddenly he woke up early every morning to feed it. A 70-year-old woman started coloring in for adult books and found herself laughing more than she had in years. A 75-year-old man learned how to bake and suddenly felt useful again. A woman joined a community choir that met every Monday and told me, "That is the one reason I'm excited to get dressed and leave the house." Joy does not have to be perfect. It just needs to be enough to make your heart move a little. Ask yourself one simple question. What little thing has made me smile recently? If you cannot answer, then your body is missing a kind of vitamin more important than vitamin D. That is vitamin joy. Give yourself one small joy this week. Listen to a song you used to love. Learn something new. Try a new recipe. Take care of a small plant. Call an old friend. Watch a movie that makes you laugh. Or simply walk outside for 5 minutes. Just one thing. A small one. You will be surprised at how strongly your body responds. Here is what I want to leave you with. When you start to find joy again, even joy as small as a fingernail, your entire body will change. You will breathe deeper. You will sleep better. You will talk more. You will laugh more easily, and that constant tiredness will fade away like morning fog in the sun. You deserve to feel alive again, not because you should, but because it's a basic human right at any age. My friend, we have just walked a long road together. From not drinking enough water, to meals that send your blood sugar on a roller coaster, to shallow sleep, missing sunlight, overlapping medications, and all the quiet worries you have never put into words. If there is one thing you should remember from everything I have shared, it is this. Long-lasting fatigue is not your destiny just because you are older. You do not have to accept it as an unavoidable part of life. In 30 years of geriatric medicine, I have seen hundreds of patients come to me exhausted, foggy, and unmotivated, then leave my office with brighter eyes, steadier steps, and lighter hearts, simply because they made a few small but precise changes. You do not need to be perfect. You do not need to change everything overnight. You do not need to become who you were at 30. You only need to take one small step, then another small step, then one more. You will be amazed at how powerfully your body can recover, no matter how many years it has already carried you. Choose one thing from the 10 we have talked about today, just one. Drinking more water. Going outside for a few minutes every morning, adding a bit more protein to your meals, talking with a pharmacist about your medications, or finding one small joy that belongs only to you, even a tiny one. Start with that, then let the rest unfold naturally. You deserve to wake up with a lighter body, a clearer mind, and a heart that feels alive, truly alive. Not because your age allows it, but because there is still so much good waiting for you. Thank you for staying with me until the very end. If these thoughts touched you, please leave a like, subscribe to the channel, or share this with someone you believe needs to hear it. We, the ones who have already walked through many years, can still live better, brighter, and stronger if we learn to truly listen to our bodies. Take care of yourself. Step outside for a bit of fresh air today, and do not forget to smile. That is the gentlest medicine science has never been able to replace. I am Dr. William Harper, always by your side on the journey to living well, not just living long. If you enjoy this video, then there's a good chance you will also like this one. Go ahead and watch it now. Thank you.